Tony Mack says he will do all he can to help Nigel Farage win for Reform UK in Clacton-on-Sea despite being ousted as the party's general election candidate. Reform UK's ousted candidate for Clacton-on-Sea has broken his silence after being replaced by Nigel Farage. The former GB News presenter announced on Monday, June 3, he will be contesting the seat in Essex and was taking over from Richard Tice as party leader. In a social media post, former candidate Tony Mack backed Mr Farage, who launched his campaign in Clacton on Tuesday, June 4, telling voters he would be a bloody nuisance in Westminster if he were to be elected on July 4. Mr Mack said the announcement came as a surprise. Mr Mack said, "Whilst it came as a surprise to me, and I am obviously disappointed to no longer be the parliamentary candidate in my hometown of Clacton, I believe Reform UK have the right policies to guide our nation going forward and would be the best government for our country. I will do all I can to ensure Nigel's victory in Clacton and will be urging my team to overcome any disappointment and unite behind Nigel and me as we continue to strive for a better future for the Clacton constituency in the United Kingdom." After U-turning on his previous decision not to put himself forward as a candidate, Mr Farage's image now appears on Reform's Clacton page. A campaign fundraising page set up by Mr Mack has raised £1,150 to date. Clacton's previous MP was Tory Giles Watling, who swept to victory in 2019 with a majority of 24,702 on a 61.3% turnout and is standing again this year. He told BBC Essex Mr Farage doesn't give two hoots about the constituency, adding, "This is all about Nigel, as ever. I don't want to see the residents of Clacton-on-Sea taken for granted and sacrificed on the altar of his vanity." Other candidates who have announced they are standing are Yovan Owusu-Paul, Labour, Matthew Bensalem, Liberal Democrats, and Natasha Osborne, Green Party. Mr Farage's announcement will have spooked the Conservative Party with the general expectation Reform will take votes from the Tories, which could be crucial in a number of constituencies where the contest is tight. In 2019, the party didn't field candidates in constituencies being defended by the Tories, helping to pave the way for Boris Johnson's landslide victory. As by far the party's best known and most charismatic figure, supporters will be hoping Mr Farage's return to the centre stage will give them a boost in the run-up to polling day. His standing in the Essex seaside constituency of Clacton, once held by UKIP's Douglas Carswell when he was the party's leader, marks his 8th attempt to enter Westminster. Locals gave a mixed reaction to the news Mr Farage would be seeking their vote. Adele Ruddy, who has lived in Clacton for 40 years, said she would definitely be voting for Mr Farage as she believed his heart was in the right place and he would stand up for the local area. Ms Ruddy added she felt it was unfair businesses in Clacton were closing down and that the town has been forgotten. She added, "No one wants to fight for Clacton." George Charalambos, who moved to Clacton from East London about 5 months ago, said he thought voting for the Reform UK candidate was a wasted vote as Mr Farage wouldn't achieve much if elected to Parliament. The former factory worker said he would be voting for Labour, but would also consider voting tactically either for Reform UK or the Liberal Democrats in order to defeat the Conservative candidate.